Good morning, this is Sun China's weekly global briefing on 18th May. I have a very bad throat now, and so I please understand that my throat is very keeps the low tone, and today I'd like to tell you with a very low tone voice. Last week, the U.S.-China made a dispute on both on economy and also about the COVID-19. And now the financial market, they are all in turbulence the up and down. It is going up and down for a while. And I think this week the turbulence will be worsened about that. So today I'd like to check the issues about the COVID-19 and also about the economies of the U.S. and China dispute. First, we'd like to check the indices and the commodities. Number one, indices. All three indices, they are closed with the bull, but it's not a bull. Very low rise of the indices, and they make the box patterns as I told you last week. And the problem is that if there's no dispute between China and United States, then it is no problem. But to go up more over than the 24K lines of the Dow Jones lines, and also Nasdaq, it can go more than 9,200 lines. But the problem is that they start to fight again about the economy and about the coronavirus. I mean COVID-19. So this week I think we'll be in a real big turbulence this week. Turbulence. So we'll have a kind of a very big fall, and maybe we can see under 22K lines in Dow Jones indices, and also the VIX futures at the June. It shows that it rises more than 35, and then now it drops to the 32.75. But then it shows that still the market is unstabilized. The commodity says that the gold is a little bit higher, a little bit raised, and the silver and platinum, they make a really bullish run and they make a really big green light, and it goes now more than 6.6%, and the palladium, it goes more than 3%, and unfortunately the copper, it shows a little drop. As I told you for the long time and several times already, the financial market is stabilized by some kind of money flow. Some liquidity. But the real market, the real world, it doesn't come over that because of the COVID-19 issues. So we have to check until the copper goes up to $2.50 and above. If not, then still the real commodities are not good not in good condition now. And all three oils drives up there, and they show the really bull market. Yeah. And WTI on July futures, it shows that more than 6.8% rise, and also the Brent oil, Brent July future also shows that more than 4% rise, and because of the recovery of the demand of China in industrial area, and also the OPEC started to make the oil cut about that. So the Dubai oil also rise more than 7%. But the problem is that I think they cannot make the bullish run that long time, because of the U.S.-China dispute started again. So that this week maybe they'll make some kind of price adjustment and time adjustment for a while, and then they'll rise again, I think. Next, we're gonna check the weekly news about the global financial markets. And number one, the China faces angry for seeking virus answers at key WHO meeting, and it shows in the Bloomberg. And then the Bloomberg said that from Monday, this afternoon, the WHO meetings the World Health Assembly will be started, and South Korean President Moon, he will make some kind of speech as the opening speech. So I'm really proud that the South Korea made a really big stance in the global political and global leaders word. Yes, and I think that South Korea have to make some kind of decision between the U.S. and China, who will follow. 위클리 뉴스부터 다시 하겠습니다. 앞에서 음악 알장가리니까 좀 힘들어요. 어르신. Okay, now it's time to make the weekly news, and I got three news from the Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal. So I'd like to speak it up. What is going on the global world? Number one, China faces angry world seeking virus answers at key WHO meeting at Bloomberg. And so today, the Monday, the World Health Assembly is held in Geneva, and also our South Korean President Moon, he will make an opening speech there. I'm very proud about it, and now the South Korea is becoming one of the leaders alliance in the global world. So the China has a really big problem about the COVID-19 viruses, and where the virus come from is in China, and everybody in the world, especially the United States, UK, Australia, and the friends of the America, they are really blaming on the China about the COVID-19, and also they asked Taiwan to participate this meeting as an observer, and China was really upset about that. So this is another issues of the U.S.-China dispute. So we have to check the news of the WHO meeting again, and also we have to check the U.S.-China trade deal and the dispute this week together. Yes. And number two, the China says targeting Huawei threatens global supply chain. This is from the Bloomberg, and then as you know that the Trump said that they will ban the export the U.S. chips to the Huawei and all the blacklist companies of the China, unless they show their purpose and the destination of their product. So that China said that if you are targeting Huawei and the other 5G technology companies, then it will threaten the global supply chain. But you know that it is really a very hard time for the China again, because now the U.S. presidential is started, and then already started, and now the Obama and the Donald Trump, they are fighting each other. So maybe China have to be careful about this situation. Number three, and the coronavirus vaccine frontrunners emerge rollouts wait. This from the Wall Street Journal, and the article said that the Pfizer, J&J, and the AstraZeneca and Sanofi, they made all the very front-running vaccines of the COVID-19 viruses, and there are more than 100 vaccines around the world in global scale. But the United States focus on those 4 companies, and the government puts a lot of monies on those companies to start the clinical test on the humans. Now the FDA is preparing for the emergency approval for the clinical tests, and then I think the United and the America, they wanted to make the first vaccine in America, not in China or the other countries in the world. Now we'll see the market forecast, and the stock index will be shaken by the U.S.-China trade dispute, and also COVID-19 is another issue for the both countries. And you see that as I told you, the articles in Bloomberg that the WHO meeting in Geneva, it'll be another dispute. It'll be make another dispute between the U.S. and China, and then everybody is really get mad about these issues about it. So how the China will solve all these kinds of problems together in one time? Maybe it is not so easy. Maybe the China will solve the problems step by step, but the problem is that the U.S. will ask some kind of compensation. How they will be compensated? Yeah, how they will be recovered by the compensation of the China. Number two, the commodity markets, there are some changes there. So the oats and the raw prices now skyscraping now. Then we shall check the agricultural sectors, especially for the famine. Because of the coronavirus, the oats price goes up rocket higher, and then also the rice also made some kind of problems because the Southeast Asia, they have a lot of problems to making them to do the rice farming. So not only the grain, but also in the protein part. I mean the beef and the pork. They are now preparing to go make some kind of bull market again. But not in the financial market, but in the real world also there will be some kind of problems of the protein supply, not because of the COVID-19, but because of the transportation issues. So that we have to prepare about the protein wars about it. Number three, oil is boosting the price range now, but I think maybe it is not possible to go up more than the $30 to $35 per barrel box parents of the WTI now this week because of the U.S.-China trade dispute and also the COVID-19 dispute. So we have to check these issues today and this week, and then we will maybe experience some kind of a turbulence of the price of the financial market and the commodity market too. And finally, weekly focus is what will U.S.-China dispute make economic turbulence? Yes, I already told you that several times, and it will maybe continue until the 2020 U.S. presidential vote, maybe November. It'll last long. So we have to be careful about all the financial markets that it'll make an up and down so many times. And number two, what will COVID-19 vaccine human clinical test make changes in the financial market? So this means that the America started to make the clinical test for the human. So maybe more than 100 millions of the peoples in the United States. So what will happen there? And then what will they have some kind of so then they will have a lot of data about the clinical test, what side effects they have, and what is the lethal factors, and what is the problems, and any good issues, and any efficiencies. So that the America will gather all the information by this really big clinical test. So we have to check that until I think September. We gotta check it out. Number three, does U.S.-China dispute will turn from economic to military crash in South China Sea? Yes, this is really vital issues. If that happens, then the global financial market will collapse again. Yes, the military crash in South China Sea is now is one of the biggest issues on U.S.-China, and also the Southeast countries such as Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia, and Philippines. They are now backing up. Now they are backing up the United States, and then the China is facing a lot of problems in this area, and so maybe there will be some kind of limited war can be happen, but we have to check, and we pray for that. And the South China Sea is safe and stable. Yeah, and that is my wish too. So for this week, everybody stay calm and keep alive in the turbulence of the U.S.-China dispute about the economy and also the COVID-19 issues. And God bless you, and thank you.